good day everyone. I am Jumarkal Christian Belenya, and I'm here to tackle about the development of secondary sex characteristics and human system. So, what is secondary sex characters? So, secondary sexual characteristics are those sexually dimorphic characteristics that are not directly involved in reproduction. And for example, for males, secondary characteristics include facial and chest hair, increase of body hair, pelvic build, lack of round hips, upper body muscular build, and the ability to generate muscle mass at the fast rate than the female. And plus added from here is the change of voice. So our voice can go deep. Yes, deep voice. You can speak in deep voice. And for females, so secondary sex characteristics include the relative lack of body hair, thick hair on the head in some cases, rounded hips, figures, decrease of ability to generate muscle mass at the fast rate, decrease upper body strength, breast ability to nurse children, menstrual cycle, and increase of body fat composition. So sa part na there is a round hips figure and the part of breast. So mga ganing gusto sa mga boys. So mga kumbaga sa ato sa other people pa sexy. Sa boys macho. Then for the responsible of the development of secondary sex characteristics are, for the males is the testes, which is the bunay or the itlog, and it produces testosterone. And for the female, the ovaries, and produces estrogen. And here is the pituitary gland. So what is the testes? So testes is also called as the testicle, are two oval-shaped organs in the male reproductive system. They are contained in the sac of skin called the scrotum. The scrotum hangs outside the body in front of the pelvic region near the upper thighs. This is also produce a hormone called testosterone. So kanang nara ni sa boys, which is kanang nagbitay dia sa ilaw, nang duha dia nanay kuan bunay wa, which is also was called testicle, and muna siya ang very unique parts sa boys because wala na siya sa girls. Then the thing is muna siya ang the foremost way and the producer of the sexual hormones which we can reproduce or makapadamo. Then testosterone. Testosterone is the hormone responsible for the secondary sexual characteristics that develop in the male during adolescence and stimulates spermatogenesis. These are the secondary sex characteristics include a deepening of the voice. So mo na ako isulti ganina katong mo change sa nga to voice deep voice. Then the growth of the facial hair, accessory, and pubic hair. So facial hair and the and the beginning of the sex drive. So diyan anjud nato magsugod ato ang kanang kuan ng pleasure. So and the ovaries are the pair of the ovum producing organs, that is the produce egg cells that maintain the health of the female reproductive system. The ovaries, like their male counterpart, the testes, and known as the gonads. This simply means they are primary productive organs and also is the primary producer of estrogen. So fun fact is that these have girls have this menstrual cycle which is occur every month. Then this happens to cleanse their private part and to release the I mean cleansing. Cleansing. Okay. Estrogen. Estrogen is the reproductive hormones in the females that consists in the endometrial regrowth, ovulation, and the calcium absorption. It's also responsible for the secondary sexual characteristics of the female. This includes the breast development, the flaring of the hips, and the short period necessary for bone maturation. So, diri jud magsugod ang kuan kanang mga paborito sa mga boys, which is the kanang include the breast developments nya kaning flaring of the hips, ang makita na jud na development of the sexy posture and the good body figure of the girls. Then also the bone shorter maturation, which is the girls actually is fast as they were younger, they get taller fast, but when they get, I think, before in 16 they will stop growing. Maybe it depends on the human person and their body, but as I know, that's how it works. So the next is the pituitary gland. So your pituitary gland is the hypophysis, is a pea-sized endocrine gland at the base of your brain, behind the bridge of your nose and directly below your hypothalamus. It sits in the indent of the sphenoid bone called the setiala torica. So which means na siya diri lapita. Ini adres tunga. Gyud na diri ba? Kani diri. Dia diri sa tunga gyud ba? Tunga. Then the pituitary gland is one of the 8 interrelated major endocrine glands. The pineal gland through the secretion of its hormones, and the pituitary gland controls the metabolism, growth, sexual maturation, reproduction, blood pressure, and the other vital physical functions and processes. So, kaning siyang pituitary gland, kay mo siya mag-control sa metabolism, which kaning ato ang pagkatambok or pagkadako sa ato ang pagkadako nato, or unsa ato pag stabilize ato body, which is what food we intake. Like for example, more on carbs ka, so ang metabolism which will control. Actually, the more we get older, the shorter, the slower the metabolism it gets, and it started until we ended at the age of 18, or we got to the age of adolescence. Next is the human system. So human system ta. So what is the functions of human system? So a human system is an organization of varying numbers of kinds of organs, so arranged that together they can perform complex functions for the body. 10 major system includes the skeletal, which are the bones, the muscular, which is the muscles, and the nervous, which is the veins, the mga ugat-ugat, and the endocrine, which is kanang na diri sa ato ang kuan, to ang diri dapit sa bus, sa stomach dapit mo. Cardiovascular, which is diri sa lungs, lymphatic, then respiratory. Cardiovascular is the heart, the respiratory is the lungs, digestive is the intestine, the urinary is the peeing, and reproductive is to reproduce. So these are the system, functions, and organs. So the body system and their primary functions are some present organs included, which are is below. So body system, primary functions, and organ included. So for the respiratory, breathing, lungs, trachea. Cardiovascular or circulatory, blood circulation, heart, arteries, veins, and blood. Digestive, processing food, mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, intestine. Accessory organs, liver, gallbladder, abdomen, appendix. For the endocrine, hormone production, a number of glands throughout the body, including but not limited to the thyroid, pituitary, adrenal glands. So the pituitary is under the endocrine system, and urinary waste elimination, kidney, and bladder. The next will be the reproductive system, which is reproduction, uterus, ovaries, fallopian tube. So naikuwang ani, which is our, for the boys is the testicle or the testes, and the nervous sensory communication between the coordination of all the body system, which is the brain, nerves, sensory, eyes, ears. And for the integumentary, protects against damage, skin, hair, and nails. The muscular or the skeletal provides form, support, stability, and movements of the body, which is the muscular muscles, and the bones. The hematopoietic or lymphatic blood production, maintenance of the fluid balance and the defense against disease. Bone marrow, spleen, tonsils, lymph fluid, nodes, ducts, and vessels. So, nagdagdag ko rin more information, which is the fun fact about the human body and fun fact about secondary sex. So, fun fact about human body. You're going to be taller in the morning. So, actually, tinood yun siya. I tried this before. When you get up in the morning, murag mo get taller ka for, I think, 1 inch. Something like that. And your heart beats about 100,000 times a day. And your highest blood flow is in your kidney. And you produce enough saliva to fill 2 bathtubs a year. Wow. And healthy lungs are pink lungs. Yee, pink. And dreaming in black and white. So, dreaming in black and white. Actually, I think dili kayo mo kuan sa dreaming in black and white. Dili gid kay ko mo believe. I think 50-50. Then sa fun fact about secondary sex. So, spots and acne are common. So, actually, I think medyo mo puti ka niya. Then your body shape changes. Well, actually true. You might get mood swings. So, I think it's kinda real, yeah. And you might get crushed. So, I think diri sa you might get crushed, parang scam ni siya, scam. So, masturbation is natural. So, yes, I think it is natural 100%. And the most people grow pubic body hair. So, it's true. So, this is my topic, guys, about this topic. So, let's move on to my next presenter.
So good day everyone. I'm Clint Conde and I will be I'll be discussing about the erogenous zones. So the objective is to be able to know what is erogenous zones and to be able to discuss about the common erogenous zones of our body. So first, we have to be open-minded about this topic because this might help us in the near future. So first, what is erogenous zones or what are erogenous zones? Erogenous zones are areas of the human body that are especially sensitive. During sexual foreplay, stimulating these areas can encourage relaxation, promote blood flow, build arousal, enhance sexual pleasure, and help you or your partner achieve orgasm. So basically, erogenous zones are parts of the body that excite sexual feelings when touched or stimulated. So common erogenous zones include the armpits, lower abdomen, mouth, neck, breasts, buttocks, shoulders, lower back, and genitals. So here are some example or 14 erogenous zones in our body. So first is the armpits. Armpits, your inner arms and armpits are especially sensitive areas where many people are ticklish. Using a light touch along this area can stimulate the nerves and prompt a desirable response. The next is behind the knee. So behind the knee is another sensitive nerve-rich area of the body. Paying particular attention to it during a full body massage can elicit arousal. So next is Bottoms of feet. Feet have many nerve endings and pressure points, and stimulating this often neglected area with a foot massage or light touching can lead to pleasurable sensations. Next is belly button and lower abdomen. The belly button and lower stomach are sensitive areas near the genital region. A touch or gentle tickle near these areas can generate a strong sexual response. Next is ears. From the tip to the lobe, the ears are full of sensory receptors and are one of the most sensitive erogenous zones on the body. Many people feel significant arousal when receiving light nibbles or kisses on their ears. Next is the genital region. Genitals are the most commonly known erogenous zones and the ultimate source of sexual arousal. So this is the part of, our private part. So for women, specific erogenous zones in the genital area include the pubic mound, the clitoris, the G-spot, or 2 to 3 inches inside on the front vaginal wall, the A spot 4 to 5 inches inside on the front vaginal wall, and the cervix. For men, specific erogenous zones in the genital area include the head or glans of the penis, you know, the frenulum, the underside skin where the shaft and the head meet, the foreskin for uncircumcised men. So, the scrotum, the perineum, the skin between the penis and the anus, and the prostate, reach inside the rectum. Next is the hands. There are many nerve endings in the hands that you can stimulate during foreplay. Palms and fingertips are especially sensitive to light kissing and licking. Slowing kissing or sucking a finger can also be pleasurable for some recipients. Next is inner thighs. The inner thighs are especially sensitive, so using a light touch along this area, especially as you move toward the genitals, is often incredibly pleasurable for the receiver. So the inner thighs. Next, next is the lower back. The small of the back, also called the sacrum, is a delicate and vulnerable part of the body for most people. So brushing or holding it during intercourse can evoke pleasure. Next is the mouth. The mouth is a robust erogenous zone, which is one reason why kissing is such a popular part of foreplay. Lips, teeth, and tongue are all great tools to use when stimulating your partner's mouth. So next is the neck. The neck is one of the most popular erogenous zones. From the nape at the back of the neck to the sides below the jawline, many people enjoy stimulation along the neck with a light touch or kissing. Next is nipples. The nipples and the areolas, or the skin around the nipples, are incredibly sensitive hotspots of the body and is closely tied to the sensations in the genitals. Many people vary widely in the sensitivity of their nipples. Some are too sensitive to enjoy sensations, while others enjoy rougher play such as biting or nipple clamps. So the scalp has many sensitive nerve endings, which is why scalp massages can be very enjoyable. Gentle massaging or hair pulling can activate these nerves and send pleasurable sensations throughout the body. Lastly, the wrist. The delicate skin of the inner wrist is a small erogenous zone that can build toward extreme pleasure. Using a light touch along your partner's wrist is a great way to initiate foreplay. So every person responds differently to stimulation in these areas, and factors like timing, mood, partner choice, and the type of stimulation can impact your preference. So So, in this topic, we must understand that we have to be open minded about this and we must educate ourselves about this because we might use this in the future. There's nothing wrong with it, just practice safe sex. So, that would be all. And Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Good day, my name is June Kirby Arinolos from Group 2. In this video, I'm gonna talk about understanding the woman's sexual response. So, let's first of all tackle what is woman's sexual response. The sexual response cycle allows to the groupings of physical and enthusiastic change that as individual gets to be sexually stimulated and partakes in sexually fortifying exercise, including intercourse and masturbation. Nothing how your body reacts on each stage of cycle can improve your relationship and assist you to the pinpoint the cause of sexual roughness. So, Faces sexual response according to John and Master 1966. Sexual response follows a regular pattern consisting of four phases, and those are arousal, plateau, organism, and resolution. So let me illustrate each and every single phase of sexual response. The first is the arousal phase. The arousal phase is a subjective sense of sexual pleasure. The physiological sign in males in pineal Thompson's erection and vasocongestion to female leads to vaginal lubrication and nipple affection. Second is the plateau. The plateau is a brief period of time before the organ. It is the body preparation for orgasms. The orgasm phase is an intense, highly pleasurable experience. When it is reached, rhythmic muscular contraction occur in genitals. In male, the contraction expels semen, a fluid containing sperm, a process called ejaculation. For women and men, breathing and heart rates reach maximum. Fourth is the resolution stage, where the degrees of arousal, particularly in male, happens. Genitals resume their unerous state and shifts. Blood pressure, breathing, and heart rate return to normal. So those are the four phases of sexual response that happens in human beings. Let's move on. The basic biology of sexual behavior. Woman's sexual behavior is complex of complicated, though it is not at all different from other species. Feldman 2010. To illustrate men, sexual behavior can occur at any time by being aroused to certain stimuli. At puberty, the testes begin to secrete androgens, male sex hormones which produce secondary sex characteristics like growth of bodily hair and change tone of voice. Female sexual behavior starts at puberty. There are two ovaries begin to produce estrogens and progesterone, female sex hormones. This stage of puberty for female occurs in cyclical manner when also growth change, while for non-woman period of ovulation is only when the ovulation occurs of the female species is receptive to sex.
So, good day everyone. I am here to present my topic about understanding the chemistry of love lust attachment. So, what is lust love attachment? Perhaps people originally thought that love stemmed from our hearts, as most of us have experienced it, the feeling in our chest as our heart thumps and thuds when we find ourselves attracted to somebody. Other physiological reactions that may accompany this feeling are sweaty palms and flushed cheeks, not to mention the butterflies that one feels and occasionally foolish behavior and choice of words that seem to emerge out of nowhere when we see the object of our affection. So, when we experience affection to somebody, somehow we also experience these things. Especially as guys, we tend to tell the person we like that how special they are, like they're unique and all, so that their insecurities will be lessened. Next would be research has shown that all of these crazy haywire feelings and physical reactions are in fact led by the brain and their chemicals released as a result of attraction and desire. Well, we see it or feel it like it's normal, but all of these are the brain and hormones released as a result of attraction and desire are at the helm. So, love can be divided into three different categories. So, the lust, attraction, and attachment. So, lust has two hormones, testosterone and estrogen. Next, attraction is has three hormones, dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. Last would be attachment. Attachment has two hormones, oxytocin and vasopressin. So, testosterone is a hormone that a guy has, and estrogen is a hormone for the ladies. So, when these two function, it'll become what it is. So, dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin get this rate, both sides would have the same attraction to each other. And also, when oxytocin, or we all know as the love hormone, and vasopressin at this rate, they're um, already attached to each other and giving their interest. That's all. Thank you.
Good day. I'm here to discuss about the diversity of sexual behavior, sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. Gender and sexual diversity, or simply sexual diversity, refers to all the diversities of sex characteristics, sexual orientations, and gender identities, without the need to specify each of the identities, behaviors, or characteristics that form this plurality. Sexual orientation, a person's emotional and sexual attraction to others. It can change and may or may not be the same as a person's sexual behavior. Okay, sexual orientation, it means on how a person attracted to others, and it may change because every day we are interacting with other people, so it can change our emotions. Next is the gender identity, a person's internal sense of identity as female, both or neither regardless of their sex. So it serves as guide on how people know about themselves, if they are a male or female. Next is the gender expression, how a person expresses their gender. This can include how they look, the name they choose, the pronoun they use, and their social behavior. Okay, it is how a person expresses themselves as male or female. I have an example for this. For example, for the female. The female gets butterfly in their stomachs, and they are blushes if they whenever they see a handsome guys. Okay, that's all.
Good morning, guys. I'm here to discuss the sexually transmitted diseases or STDs. So, what is STDs? Sexually transmitted diseases or sexual transmitted infections are infections that are passed from one person to another through sexual contact. The contact is usually vaginal, oral, and anal sex, but sometimes they can spread through other intimate physical contact. So, STDs is so very dangerous because they are easily spread and it is hard to tell just by looking who has an STDs. Like example, when you have a partner and you don't know you don't know if he has an STDs. Why? Because you cannot know STDs by just looking at the person. So next, STDs or STIs can be caused by bacteria, parasites, and viruses. Gonorrhea, syphilis, and chlamydia are examples of STIs that are caused by bacteria. Trichomoniasis is an STI caused by a parasite. Viruses. STIs caused by viruses included HPV, genital herpes, and HIV. These are the 8 types of STDs infection. Human papillomavirus, HPV is one of the most common STDs in the US. There are more than 40 types of HPV, some of which can cause genital warts. Herpes, syphilis, hepatitis, trichomoniasis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, human immunodeficiency virus or HIV. And of these eight infections, 4 are currently curable. Those are syphilis, trichomoniasis, gonorrhea, and chlamydia. And 4 also are not uncurable. Those are herpes, hepatitis, human papillomavirus HPV, and human immunodeficiency virus HIV. So if you don't want to have an STDs, you must use protection while you are having a sex, like condoms. Condoms. A condom is a sheet spade barrier device used during sexual intercourse to reduce the probability of pregnancy or a sexually transmitted infection. So, using a condom correctly every time you have sex can help you avoid STDs. Condoms lessen the risk of infection for all STDs. You still can get certain STDs like herpes or HPV from contact with your partner's skin, even when you're using condom. Because condoms are not 100% safe. It just lessen the risk of the STDs to be passed by you. So that's why you need to, if you are young, you don't need to have sex because it's for the marriage people. So that's it. That is the STDs or the sexually transmitted diseases. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I'm Lord Michael P. Toko. So, our topic for this semester is all about methods of contraception, the natural and the artificial methods. So, let's start the discussion about this. So, by the way, what is contraception is a birth control, also known as contraception, anti-conception, and fertility control. It's a method or device used to prevent pregnancy. Birth control has been used since ancient times, but effective and safe methods of birth control only became available in 20th century. So this is the very helpful to our teenagers or even the family or husband or wife to have a plan. So this is a method of contraception. Example of artificial contraceptive methods. Let's start the condom. So this is the common methods that we use now in our society, in our community. The condom. This is the common. This is example of the artificial control. So number two, the oral contraceptive belt. Number three, intrauterine device or the IUD. IUD. Number 4, the contraceptive implant. Number 5, the contraceptive injection. Number 6, the emergency contraception. Number 7, contraceptive ring. And number 8, the diaphragm. So this is the example of the artificial methods. So let's move to the example of the natural contraceptive methods. So let's start. So the number 1, the calendar method. So this is the example of the natural contraceptive methods. This many of this is using this method, but I don't know the others. So number 2, basal body temperature method. And number 3, mucous inspection method. Number 4, symptothermal method. Number 5, ovulation indicator testing kits. Number 6, withdrawal method. So this also it is a methods that's very common in our in my teenagers. The others using this. I don't know. Others are using calendar method or the artificial methods. I don't know. So number 7 is the lactational and infertility. So and the last but not the least, the dutching and urination. So that's the methods of the contraception, the natural and the artificial methods. So that's all, guys, and thank you.